Are you ready?
Starting now?
Well, now you just messed it up, you knob. God, you know that the shit that we go through for this, huh?
I know. Fuckers better appreciate it. When we started, we were just like, yeah, we're just going to do this, man. You know, shoot our wad into the wind and see what happens. What's the title of this podcast again?
I don't know. I don't know. Something with a penis, I guess.
Right.
Our fucking faces are everywhere now.
Right.
You know, but
You're welcome, ladies.
Right. Popular with the ladies. Right. Oh, I'm not even going to apologize because hopefully it sounds fucking hilarious.
Yeah, totally. This is fucking explicit now.
The explicit button. Let me use my finger.
La, 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 la.
It is time for another episode of Sober, Not Mature. And that episode starts now. All right, everyone. Welcome once again to another episode of Sober, Not Mature. And as promised, if you guys have been keeping an eye on our Instagram page, we do have another guest this week. And actually, this is going to be, I think, and I was trying to think back, Mike, I think it's been 10 weeks, maybe 11 weeks that we've had guests. We've had a total of 8. Right. So this individual is going to be our 8th and final guest in this string, that we've had. Right. But we're going to continue down the road. But this is the last individual that we have scheduled at this point. But I'll go ahead and let him introduce himself, and once you're done introducing yourself, we'll give you an idea of what we're going to talk about today. And but first of all, introduce yourself. Give us just your name, background, a little bit about yourself, and then we'll get started.
Yeah, my name's Rory. I'm the founder and operator of Project Clean Natural Soaps. A little background about myself: I'm a father. I have two girls. I got out of the military in 2020. I did a single enlistment there. Just doing schoolwork. As far as recovery, I just hit a year. I celebrated my first birthday in September.
Congratulations!
I appreciate that. That was after a really long time. I can't even remember the last time I went a year. So I'm here to share kind of my experience and what happened for me, what worked for me, and then also share about my mission first company of Project Clean and how we're attempting to support recovery right now.
Awesome,
cool.
and that's perfect. And once again, congratulations on the year. And you just kind of outlined exactly what we want to talk about tonight. But I'm going to let Mike give a quick overview here. But definitely, one of the main points we want to talk about, obviously the Project Clean and the company itself. So we definitely want to take time. This is going to be a platform for us to obviously do that with you and for you. So, but first of all, Mike, give him a little bit of rundown, and I'll do it once again. First, air quotes. What our format is.
Right. Well, basically I say it every week when we have a guest. We know how to get fucked up. We know how to fuck up our lives and make everybody around us miserable. We've all done it. What we're interested in is how you got sober and how you're staying sober. That's the important thing. I love the fact that you said you can't remember the last time you had a year sober. I remember when it reminded me when I had a year sober. I sat there and thought about it, and I hadn't been sober for 12 months since I was like 9 years old. So I completely
it's mind-blowing, when you really look back, it really can blow your mind. Like, man, this was just really a big part of my life for so long.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, and we definitely want to hear. I mean, take a short amount of time and explain the story. As Mike always puts it, we want to hear how you qualify. As they always say. But yeah, go ahead. Tell us about yourself. What got you to this point, and then like Mike said, what keeps you sober? Okay.
Yeah, and I agree with you guys. I like to, knowing about the past and knowing what got me here, it's important. But I really like to focus on the road ahead and my current recovery. But just just to qualify, like I said, I spent so many years participating in boozing and drugging, and I guess maybe I didn't think there was nothing wrong with it. Um, it it got progressively worse, just like everyone else, and it got to a point where I was waking up in my car not knowing how I got there, or and man, I dodged the bullet so many fucking times. And waking up and with the two kids that I have, I'm just like, what am I doing? Like things are falling apart for me. And so I definitely qualify. I know that I meet membership to hang out, without going too far into it. But how I got sober, that's what's important. And that was, I was married for 6 years, and our marriage was just going down, and I was just like really kind of find myself alone, and I'm like, this isn't sustainable. Like this isn't happening. The state got involved in my life, and they were really putting a lot of restrictions with me and my family, and it's like I got to change. So I went into recovery. I did an outpatient program, and I fucked up the first one. I was like, this is dumb. I'm just doing it because I got to, whatever.
Right. Trying to solve the back problems.
Right. And so I did that the first time, got through it. Second time, it was my counselor there. His name's Brett with Serenity Lane over in Portland. He's just like, he's explaining it to me. I'm drinking not because it makes me feel a certain, but it's because I was missing something in my life, right? And like when I would get fearful of those things, like I would always run away to a quick and easy fix.
Yep.
And he shared that with me, and that started just mulling in my head, and I'm just like, okay, so maybe the trick to recovery is reflection, looking in, like what's missing with me. And
right.
I don't know why that stuck in my head. I'm drinking because I'm missing something, and ever since I kept with the mindset of I'm not trying to be dry. I'm not trying to be sober. I'm trying to participate in recovery. And once I got my head on that angle, things really started getting better for me. I'm a student now at Oregon State. I have so much time with my children now. I have the opportunity to help others now. I mean, great things are happening, and it really is recovery that I have to thank for that.
Right. Yeah, it's amazing. We help other people and our lives get better.
yeah. Take away from self and helping others, and that's been really helpful. I did some secretary work, some service work in the AA game. I did probably about 3 different stays at Oxford, and you have to participate there and have a duty and political duty kind of. All those things were really helpful for me also.
So you had said that took you a little while, obviously, to get to this one year point again. Do you know? Well, I guess when was the first time that you figured out that you had a problem or stepped into a recovery thing? And what do you think the difference was between then and this time?
So I think the first time that I realized I had a problem, I was probably in my early 20s, and I don't know why. It's like every time I would drink, I would black out. I was just having the. It seemed like those blackouts were coming easier and easier, and all of a sudden I'm waking up in the morning and I'm like, yo, dude, you're a jackass. You know what I mean? Like you went nuts last night, and like I'm not going to be your friend anymore. And I'm like, oh shit. Like, and the first time that I actually tried to do recovery was in I was actually still enlisted, and I did it through the Army's. It's called SUD-C. I did it through their program. And, like it worked for a while. I was, but I don't think I wasn't doing it for myself at that point.
Right.
And not 2 months after I got out of that, like I was doing the same shit. And by the third time and fourth time, by time four out of intensive outpatient, I really, like I said, I started doing I, I was doing it for myself. I was tired of hurting, tired of just being, in despair, and just really did some soul searching, and that's what stuck with me this time is like, hey man, like if you're feeling shitty or like you have bad feeling, like that's okay.
Right.
It's okay to feel that way. You don't have to go and chase, go take the easy way out and crack a bottle. Like hey, sit in those feelings and observe them and work through them. And I was thinking the other day, like for a minute there, I had forgot what feelings were.
Right.
Now in sobriety with a year, I can sit in my shitty feelings and I can be like, I'm lucky I can even feel this right now. You know what I mean?
Right. Oh yeah. And the amazing thing about feelings is they don't last. They are not permanent.
Right.
Right,
Yeah,
but we can't see that when we're drinking. Well, we don't want to see that when we're drinking. I feel like shit. I better go make myself feel better. No, sit there and feel like shit for a couple of minutes. It will pass, and you move along.
Yeah, that was a big thing for me. Is I was like every single problem that I had, if I drank because that problem. Now at the end of this freaking 15-year little thing, I got 15 years worth of fucking problems to deal with now.
Right.
And so now I'm dealing with them, and I'm just thankful that I can deal with them. I'm thankful that I can do it.
Right.
Clear-minded. I'm thankful that I can feel, stressed out or upset about a problem and be like, well, how do you fix the problem though now?
Right.
Dang,
Well,
man, like it.
and that's one of the things that we were taught right away that, obviously life still happens. And just because you're sober, things are going to feel like really cool for a little while. And I mean, all along the way, if anyone's listening that's newly sober, I mean, it doesn't mean that your life's going to be hell. It just means that now it is life. Everything that Rory's just been talking about, and to Mike's point, is that you're still going to have these feelings. And Mike and I are a huge proponent. We were taught early on about not having bad days, but having bad moments. And man, there's some days that have a shit ton of bad moments.
Right.
But if you really look back at it, I mean, for me, and I've had some weird things happen personally and professionally and everything like that since I've been sober. Mike has too.
Yep.
And neither one of us can pinpoint a day that was truly all bad. It wasn't.
Nope.
But then we now have a different way to look at it. Is kind of what you're saying too, Rory. Is that now that you have that time and that different view, however you're looking at things differently from what you did before versus now, I mean, you're facing everything, so that's the key, so it's cool.
Yeah, it's about, just, I hate to say stepping up, because like you said, if somebody's listening that doesn't have much time, that those talking like that, I think can sometimes feel daunting. But I think like I appreciate that I appreciate that I can feel shitty now. And
right.
It's not going to last long. I can work through it, and it's working.
Yeah.
It's working.
Exactly. Yeah. That's cool, man. You can be grateful for feeling like shit. That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never in a million years would any one of us logically sat down and said, man, I can't wait till I can actually feel like shit and appreciate it.
Right.
Yeah.
That just doesn't, there's not a person on the planet that ever looks back at that. But so, another question here. So have you been married through this entire process up to this point, or was there any break in that sort of thing, or how'd that work out for you?
Yeah, I mean, we went on and off a few times over the 6 years that we were married, and we're off now, and unfortunately, she's still struggling with her things, and that sucks. I want to seriously be successful, but
Mm-hmm.
we just I kind of did this on alone. I wasn't with a partner like that. It took me being like, hey, like you need to drop everything that you have and put yourself into a recovery home, and you need to stay there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I had to do. So I did it. I did it in another city. Even I was like, I'm gonna hit up this Oxford house in Salem, and I'm gonna drive down there, and I don't know anybody, I don't have anything, and yeah, I was alone, but there was a lot of great people there. So
Right. Yeah. Bill can certainly relate to that.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I didn't just go a town away. I went 500 miles away.
yeah, I mean, we
Well,
got to do that sometimes.
well, and
Right.
what's funny is that when well, whether it's funny or not, what's interesting, let's put it this way, is when I was taking a detox, my entire family, and at the time, and still in the same places, I think, come to think of it, we had. My sister lived in Indiana. Sister, of my mom lived, or no, my mom lived in Cleveland. I had cousins in Boston. I had a cousin in Florida, cousins in Cleveland. So all over the place, they're checking out. They're checking things in Wisconsin where I lived, basically figuring out what are we going to do with this guy when he gets out. One of the questions was insurance and time. Like a certain number of days was X, and insurance would cover X, and all that stuff. But then they were trying to at least discuss the option of taking me to an IOP. And my sister, thankfully, is the one that she's like, I don't think that's going to work for him. And you know what? I would have been fine with it, but I don't know.
Right.
I don't know that it. I'm going to just say I don't believe that it would have worked for me, because I needed to be someplace. And we weren't locked down in the Keating Center where we went to, but I needed to be someplace where I just was, and that's all I had to do, because it was important, But so we ended up. I mean, we got to Cleveland. That's where Mike and I met. But the whole point there is exactly what you said: going to a place and being there. And when you talked about having jobs and duties and stuff like that, we don't know anything about that, do we, Mike?
No, not at all. Not at all. Let's clean this place 14 times a day. Right.
It's
And and I had fucked my life up so badly and ostracized everyone in my life that, by the time I got to the Keating Center, I didn't have any friends. I didn't have any relationships. I had my daughter, and that was it. And she was the one that I guess, she still loved me and didn't want to see me kill myself. But she, and she was done with me too. She was like, Dad, you gotta, I can't watch you do this anymore. So yeah. So I basically, I didn't have any friends. I didn't have any connections. I didn't have anything. I had, the guy at the liquor store on the corner, and he didn't give a fuck.
For sure. Yeah. I had a couple of friends that, I mean, I've known since, 15 years ago, and they were still like, I can still call them now. I'm like, I hate to say it, but what the hell is wrong with you guys? Like I was fucking crazy. Like, but that's like only two, I'm the same. I lost a lot of people. I ostracized myself. I was pushing everyone away to be alone with my little, my little poison that I like to mess around with. And
Right.
but in recovery now, like friends are coming back. I'm making these relationships now, and I'm just grateful for it. It's been a very eye-opening experience. It's been, and I'm like, looking back, I'm like, why was I even doing that in the first place? Like,
Well,
started this a minute ago,
Well, thankfully, I figured out I'm an alcoholic, and I didn't have a choice. I had to drink because I didn't do anything else to keep myself from drinking.
Yeah.
Right. And today, I do things to keep myself away from that first one, so I don't drink.
Yeah, I think that's something that got me a long ways too, was the lifestyle. So many times in IOP, they're like, "Oh, you got to build a sober lifestyle, recovery lifestyle," and I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Right.
Eventually, that clicked though, and I look at my lifestyle now, and I'm like, I'm busy, I'm surfing, I'm going to the city and making networking and helping out in the community, like. Okay,
Right.
the sober lifestyle, the term is real. It for sure is real. I can attest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. And it's a matter of, getting used to, and Mike and I have talked about this, and a lot of people, well, all of our friends and certainly people we've had on here, that the thing of it is, and I know for me personally, I don't know that I necessarily looked for individuals that were like me, but we always seem to end up with people like us that drink like us that party like us, and then
Hmm.
everything you do, it doesn't matter if you're if you're going to watch a sunset, if you're going to a baseball game, or if you're going to any place, you go to a pumpkin trick or treating. And I was just thinking about that with Halloween, when my ex and I were together, we would babysit trick or treat in my in-laws neighborhood. And the biggest thing in there was that everyone did it. We would grab these wagons, these old, big old Fisher Price plastic wagons. The kids would be in the wagons, and then we'd have beer in there or some sort of drink. And you go around to these houses, and they were kids get candy and the adults get a shot of something. And I mean, it's
Hmm.
everything, and you know what? I mean, honestly, at the time, it was fun, and both Mike and I talked about it too. It'd be insane for us to say that we never had any fun. It just got to the point where, well, we're not having any fun anymore.
Right.
Right. It's just
and
no
it,
more fun.
when you don't realize it, everyone else realizes, like you said, you wake up in the morning, from a blackout, and some dude's like, "You're a jackass, man. I can't hang out with you." You're like, "What?"
Right. Yeah, and then piecing it all together after, and you're like, oh my god, I would. And but
Well, I told Mike this one time, and this was on one of these episodes, probably I don't know 3 4 months ago, when my son's mom and I used to, when we were together, and both of us would be drinking, we'd start arguing about something almost invariably every time. And you know what? Majority of the time it was probably my fault, but there was certain times it just she and I, whatever it was, we were like either really good or we really weren't. So that type of relationship, but
mm,
we get to the point where in the argument, she would say something. I'm like, okay, this is what started it. She was wrong. I worked at home at the time. She'd like storm off to bed. I would go downstairs and I would write down what happened on a post-it note so I'd remember it in the morning.
oh, that's good. That's a good little system.
So in the morning
I
when
mean, what did you do the information after that?
well, when she was mad at me, I'm like, I wouldn't pull out the post-it note, but it would just be a matter of no, you started it with this, and then she didn't remember, so it sometimes ease the argument, so she wasn't pissed at me. Not that I didn't do anything wrong, but I did. It's ridiculous. I couldn't remember half the shit, and looking back now, how did I not know? If you got to write down what you're getting in an argument about, so you can finish the argument the next day, yeah, you might have a problem.
Yeah.
So when you came in this time and I know you went to IOP and things like that, was it AA based type of things that you were doing, or a mix of things, or what did you get into?
Yeah, I did a mix of things. So the IOP, I forget exactly what they call it. It's not step based. Um, it's a group environment, and we did random UDS testing, and but they really pushed us to do the AA thing. So I've been to AA for a long time. By the second time I went to IOP. Now, when I went to the Oxford House, they have the blackout period. You have to do 40 meetings in 40 days.
Hmm.
You're locked down. So uh, I've done my fair share amount of the AA. I'm still actually currently in an outpatient group that meets once a week. Uh, and I've been in that for, geez, like 5 months now or so, I'd say. And it's
What?
just kind of like a check-in, you check
Sure.
in and you talk to your group. It doesn't change. So I'm
Right.
still engaged in that, and it's a good group. It's only about 5 guys, and we just really go in there and we just share and we collaborate together on each other's dilemmas, and that's a good group of guys. And I pointed them over the direction of your guys' great podcast. Hopefully, we can get a couple of them listening. But they,
Yeah.
some of their stories and just how we help. It's pretty tight knit, and I really appreciate that group.
Yeah. Right. Support group, and an aftercare thing. That's cool. Yeah, we need
Yeah,
that. I mean, well, 12 and a half years sober for us. We got to check in with our people and, keep ourselves accountable. It never ends.
Well,
keeping up on it.
And one of the reasons, and I know we've told this story on here, but just a brief part of it. One of the reasons we started doing this was, I look back, it was kind of a whim, but it was almost like almost an egotistical thing. Well, shit, we can talk like this into a microphone, when it really comes down to it. But we did it for us because it gave us an opportunity. I moved back to Wisconsin in 2013, so Mike and I were roommates together in the Creek Quarter House, the whole bit. So we were very close, went to a lot of meetings and all that stuff. But so I still get back to Cleveland, and I still did, but this gave us an opportunity now, and we started this back in February, that, okay, at a minimum, every Friday, he and I get on this thing and we talk to each other. And that's why we joke when I say our quote unquote format, because when we really had to think about it when we started having guests, because all we do on here is we just have, like we're doing now, we just have an open conversation, which is what we wanted to do. And we talk about what's on our mind. Granted, we talk about recovery, but we've talked about other shit. We've talked about work stuff, but it's life things. But the whole point with that is that this keeps us connected, and then by some miraculous thing out there, we started to hear that this might be helping people, which is even more cool. So it's awesome.
Yeah, I really like your guys' platform, and I appreciate you guys pulling guests on and just sharing experience. And like you said, it doesn't always have to be about recovery. It can just be about like you said, work things, just bullshitting about anything really. But
exactly. Yeah, well, I mean, it's recovery based because we're recovery based.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, I kind of was thinking about that right after it came out of my mouth. I'm like, well, every single thing, it kind of all leads back to that, right?
Right. Sobriety has to come first, otherwise all the rest of it goes away.
Yeah. That was a good point, because I was thinking about that too a lot. Walking down that path was like, just as long as you don't drink, like just as long as you maintain it today, you're gonna, each day you're gonna make some progress. I couldn't say that before.
Right.
I wasn't making that progress, and yeah, it only takes a day.
Right. Do the quote, Mike. The Big Book quote. Your favorite one.
What quote? Oh, yeah. There is no cure for alcoholism. All we get is a daily reprieve contingent upon the maintenance of our spiritual condition.
Yeah, that's and if you've listened at all, we're not big book thumpers, big book quoters. There's a few things that we hang on to, and that's one of our favorites. But the biggest word in there is maintenance, because it's you have to do it. It implies and states the fact we've got to do something every single day to keep this thing, And I was thinking about it today too, that I was joking. I posted on Instagram that I'm home alone and stuff like that. And my sister went out to see our family in Boston, and she actually took the dogs to the border this time. And so I mean, it's like completely empty. And I'm like, I was just kind of joking. What trouble am I going to get into? But the thing of it is that even though I'm in a house full of people and animals and all those sort of things, every single day it's I take that time for myself in the morning, to do my readings and do my prayers. And it doesn't take long. It's 15-20 minutes, but I have to have that, and that's part of the maintenance that I do every day, along with prayers at night. But that's the big part in the morning. And I don't miss that stuff. I don't care where I'm at. I need to do that every day. And Mike, you do too,
Absolutely. Oh, you'll love this, man. Check this out. So I won't get into all the details, but I needed to move some money around today, figuratively and literally. And at one point, I'm in my car and I've got just under $3,000 in my pocket. And and trust me, as a good alcoholic, I thought to myself, I could have a really good time for about a day and a half. And then of course I have that wonderful tool that I play that tape through, and I went, and then what? Then what are you gonna do, asshole?
Yeah.
Well, do you remember?
So I took that money and did what I was supposed to do with it, and hey, guess what? I get to go to Mexico in a month and a half.
Oh yeah.
Well, do you remember that, Mike, when you were up in Wisconsin back in whatever that was, 2015 or 16, and I was doing I was working on a consolidation loan, and when it got approved, they said they were going to send the payoff check, and then I had to pay off the bills, which is fine. I mean, I had no
Right.
issue doing it, but it was getting close to where he was going to hang out in Wisconsin for a couple of days. We were heading down to Indiana, then back out to Cleveland, and I wasn't sure the check was going to hit in time. So I told my son, I'm like, yeah, you got to check my mail, but the check came like right as we were leaving or something like that, and I opened it up. I'm like, I showed him the check, and it was like, I don't know, it was like $6,500 or something like that. It wasn't a
Right.
ton of money, but I'm like, and what the fuck kind of trouble could we get in with this?
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go put it in there, and I'm gonna go put it in the bank right away, So
Right. And I think I did say something like, yeah, we could probably have a couple of good days and then we'd be fucked.
I'm sure that's probably, I don't remember exactly, but I'm sure that was probably, if not exactly, damn close.
Right.
But that's the thing. So, and maybe that's a good question for you, Rory, is that within this year or even right now at this moment, do you ever, and I know what our answers are, but do you ever have thoughts about, hey, I could do this, but then you don't type of thing, or you know what I mean? Kind of like I can go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Sorry, I wasn't trying to cut you off, but you guys are saying those intrusive thoughts, they just kind of pop up out of nowhere. I mean, all the time, honestly, like, but now I have this tool that I can, like you said, Mike, I can kind of follow it along and be like, well, where the hell would that leave me?
Right.
I can't even tell you, but I know that I would not be happy once I got my mind clear again.
Right.
Right.
And they do, I feel like people around me, or going out to town, or even like a really stressful day, like I could take the edge off, whatever. But I'm just like, like I got that other voice that's like, exactly what would happen.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Why are you know what I mean? Like, that was a funny thought, but let's get back to reality here. You know what would happen. Let's keep going,
Yeah, and by the way, you didn't cut me off. I ramble enough, so cutting me off is probably a good thing. So no,
Please do.
yeah, you did.
You guys are saying it, and I'm like, that's funny. The follow through. Where the hell would I, when I wake up, how would I feel? Exactly like you said. I'm fucked.
Right.
Right.
I fucked up. Everything sucks now again. Like, it would be. No, it's just
Exactly.
not.
And you know
I
what?
appreciate what I have right now too much, I think.
Right. And this is a crazy thought for me. But what would I okay, I go and get loaded or whatever. How is that going to affect other people? I've built this trust over all these years. I would disappoint so many people. That actually matters to me today.
Yeah.
Back when I was in it, I didn't give a fuck. Oh, I disappointed you? Oh, too fucking bad.
Right.
Who the hell are you to tell me how to run my life? Yeah, but today I actually care about other people, and I don't want to disappoint other people. I don't want to hurt anybody.
Right.
Yeah.
And if I pick up, I'm gonna hurt somebody.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and and the trust, you just said that, Mike. The trust that people have in us, and I mean, my sister's halfway across the country and left me alone in her house.
Yep.
and I do. I've got some money. I got paid today, man. Hookers and blow. There goes.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm not too far out of a rough area of Indiana where I could probably score those two things.
Oh yeah, man. What? Maybe a 20-minute drive to Gary?
Oh yeah.
You could have a good old time.
Oh yeah, not a doubt. Well, that's what I'm saying. Bring it back here and mess up her house. So
Right.
And our sister listens to this too, so she'll be listening to this tomorrow, going, holy fuck, holy fuck, holy fuck.
I was gonna say, you think she would have allowed this to happen 13 years ago?
No, not at all.
Yeah. Not at all.
Well, and my ex-wife, I mean, I know the garage code to their house. They've had me go in there while
Right.
they're gone. Put mail in there, take a dog out if their dog's there, whatever it is. And these are things when I sit here and I didn't think about sitting here. Again, I was joking about being home alone, but then I think about the trust that's there, and that's all that stuff can be blown up. It took years to get that back, but how quickly could I blow that up? in a night, easily. You know.
Mhm.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But that's the thing, man. It means something to us today because we put the work in, and we don't want to lose that trust. It actually truly means something to us today.
Right. Well,
Yeah,
Not the old way where we'd use it to take advantage of people.
exactly. Well, go ahead, Rory.
yeah,
You were going to say
it's
something.
catch on. I was just gonna say, like, it's a tangible thing now. Having that trust, having people actually they know that they can depend on you, and like I said earlier, I have two young kids, and I, it would just be it's this commodity that I can carry now. I can call my mom again finally. Like
Right.
I can talk to my friends again, and they pick up now. Like.
Right.
But like maybe 2 years ago, they'd be like, "Ah, god damn, it's Rory again." Like, don't
Right.
answer it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, it's like,
Oh yeah, absolutely. You walk into a room, oh shit, it's him.
right?
Yeah, don't pull out the booze. Like.
Hide your wallet.
I was just thinking the same thing. Hide your wallet and hide your purse.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? And obviously we want to talk about your, the company and Project Clean and stuff like that. But actually, you know what? This is probably a good place for us to take a little 60-second break. Everyone, I promise we will be back in 60 seconds. So just hang on 1 minute. Hey everyone, it's your friends at Sober, Not Mature. Have you visited our website lately? If not, it's www.SoberNotMature.com. While you're there, you can listen to all of our episodes or find links to where our episodes can be played, such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and others. We do have a blog page for some of the writings that we've done. We've got a web store where you can take a look at all of our merchandise, buy yourself a t-shirt or a hoodie, maybe even a mug. You can see our review section where you can actually leave a review or see what people have been saying about us. You can check out our sponsor page. We've got a contact page. Basically, any opportunities that we have to contact or interact with us are on our website. Also, you can buy us a coffee, or you can just find other ways to support the podcast. Visit us today at www.SoberNotMature.com. All right, welcome back. And once again, we're talking to Rory. And he is from Project Clean. And we've talked a little bit, rambled back and forth, and I think actually that's been a lot of fun. And we could probably go another half hour just shooting the shit. But as promised, we want to be able to, have you talk about the company. I think it'd be interesting for everyone. Well, you tell me what you want to talk about, but I'm interested in how you started it, why a soap company, and then obviously, more importantly, I think, is what you're doing with some of the proceeds. So have at it.
Yeah, so just a little backstory on the soaping is I actually started soaping a little bit before I went into my first Oxford house, and then when I was there, like I had told you guys earlier, I had a lot of time and I was away from people, and I actually made some of my first batches on a countertop in an Oxford home. And so it kind of started me there, and I kind of wanted to go this way with the company. I wanted to go this way, and I kind of found myself in that point of recovery where it's like I need to do service. I need to service work. Like I don't know what happens. Like some of those post-acute or whatever, but you kind of get those points. The down points. And I'm like, I need to get out and help. And
right.
So I know the soaping. Our product is, everything that I add to it has been I've spent a lot of time on it. I can tell you that much right now. I've spent tons of my time building the recipes. I spent a lot of time collecting the ingredients. And this is one of the things that I did in my sober lifestyle. I took up some of that time that I used to spend drinking with manufacturing, creating this really awesome, luxurious bar soap. And so, it's been turned into a passion, kind of a catharsis for me, to pull out of my head sometimes and just work with my hands. But the company itself, I wanted it to be a mission first. I wanted it to be community. When people see it, they know that it's something. It's a company for good. So I made some phone calls in Portland to connect with some sober living communities that are up there. Some in Salem, and I actually got connected with Blanche House that's up in Portland. So they not only do they run they still call it a soup kitchen, even though I found out last time I went there they don't actually serve soup. They still call it. I'm like, that's a neat fact for you to share with me. So the downstairs is a soup kitchen, food pantry. The upstairs is transitional housing, men's housing for recovery. They get them in there. The men that wear their work at the actual house. So I'm able to donate now to them. They have another farm, another house that is Blanche Farm. We're donating to them. I'm providing there. So that was my first step with the company. Is I want to help first, right? So we supply them monthly. Now the big thing about it that I'm the most excited about is our scholarships. Our 50% net profits are donated to support addiction recovery.
Nice.
And so what that is scholarships donated in order for people to get support when trying to get into a sober living house. And wherever you are, it can change. I know here the rate is about $500 or $600, and we want to help people that are close by and then grow. But we're doing our first scholarship at the end of next week.
Nice.
So far, we've been kind of running for a couple months. We've donated quite a bit to Blanche Farm, and now, like I said, we're doing our first scholarship. And I'm so excited to just be, like, I'm sure you guys will see it on the Instagram. I would get my little certificate, being like, you provided a scholarship.
Right.
I mean, who knows what that could do for someone. That's all I needed. I needed to get into that house, and I needed to have a community around me that was like, hey man, are you doing okay today? Like, fuck no, I'm not okay. It's day 3 in my Oxford house. I'm not okay. And then they're like, okay, well, tell me about it, and
right.
I mean, that made all the difference.
So you started off with actually donating the product to the different houses, and then now obviously as you're starting to sell it and the sales come in, then 50% of that goes to the addiction recovery on top of the donations that you've done of product itself.
Yeah, so we continually work with Blanche House. We do monthly. I go down there and meet with them, and so that's been going on for a few months now. And then, yeah, like you said, the actual money donations are going to the scholarships.
Yeah, that's
cool.
So, we're doing 2. We're doing the free hygiene products for the transitional housing. We're doing scholarships. I know that it's hard to tell sometimes when new companies pop up. But I mean, what we're doing here, it's very real. It is very real. This thing is actually going to get someone into a house. Our product is actually in this sober community where we're at, taking some of the financial burden off the people residing there.
Right. So how did you, come up with and if I missed it when you started explaining it, I apologize, but how did you decide on soap? And it was just it's cool. I've watched some of your videos and things like that, and all the stuff you're putting together, and even the packaging looks cool. But how did you decide on that? And then I guess my second question would, how the hell did you learn how to do it?
So the soap, it was something that kind of just came out of nowhere for me when I started making it. I just think that, like when we all, I'm sure you guys have experienced something like this, that when I went into recovery, I was really like, I got to be healthy now. I got to eat right. I'm not smoking anymore. I'm not drinking. Like, I'm going to exercise 3 times a day, like, just all this craziness, and I'm like, well, what am I eating? What am I putting on my body? And this kind of just led me to, just looking at some other natural soap companies, and I'm like, that's really, it's a great hobby to do, right? So I'm like, this will be perfect for me to do while I have all this free time now.
Right.
And so I just started making it, started making it and making it. I tested a lot of soap. I mean, I know a lot about soap now. It's weird. Like, I never thought, I know 3 years ago, I had no fucking idea. Like, this is where it was going to go. But
Well, I'm very glad you didn't say I watched Fight Club.
yeah. I reached out to somebody before and was like, hey, like, this is what we're doing. And they're like, you just did the line from Fight Club. And I'm like, no, this is about supporting addiction recovery, So, but how, I now, things are getting a little more real now, in that I have to make sure I'm making enough. I have to make sure it's turning into a real job now. It's not that I'm just making one or two. Like, I got to make 400 bars by the end of the week.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Well,
so hell, now, man, before you know it, you're going to actually have to hire somebody.
Yeah. And that's the goal, like, I want to be, it really is about helping. You know what I mean? It really is. My goal is to actually, like, have a huge chunk that has gone into the community here. I don't know if you guys have ever been to Portland, but
I have.
We're struggling here with it, and the resources aren't there, and they should be, with the amount of money that's going towards it.
Right.
And I think that individuals need to start trying to get in there and do something to cover some of the bill.
Yeah, close that gap. Absolutely.
Yeah, when I first, just a quick story, when I first tried to get into ILP this year, they told me 3 months.
Really?
Right.
Yeah, they're like, it's going to take you, you're going to have your assessment in 2.5 months. I'm like, 2 months for an addict? Are you kidding me? Like, who knows where you could be in 2 months?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm interested in closing that gap. I'm interested in being a private resource for some of the nonprofits in this community here.
Cool. That's what it's about, man. That's a beautiful thing.
And at this point, as you're, like you said, 400 bars you got to make at the end of the week and things like that. Mike obviously, talked about joking about hiring and stuff like that. So as what it sounds like it's growing into a life of its own. So do you have a plan at this point? I mean, or I'm sure you're probably thinking about it, getting out of that to expand everywhere. I mean, are you thinking that big, or are you just going to go bit by bit and see where it takes you?
Well, step one is I'm already looking at some places, but I'm gonna move out of my the addition that I have on my house here. I'm gonna move out of the addition and first I'm gonna upgrade the location. And the thing about soap is that stepping up manufacturing doesn't take much. It takes you obviously getting the materials, but I can just build bigger and bigger molds. Like, I can do that, and I think at this point, and I'm gonna start releasing some content on it, because I just want to show, like, hey, like, I'm going out and I'm making these cold sales. Like, I'm going and knocking on the door at businesses, being like, hey, do you want to participate in this mission?
Right.
And so I at this point, my main goal is manufacturing, so that, because right now I'm on a shortage. I wasn't expecting as many businesses that are here to take as much as they did. So the resource with the location, and then really pushing out to businesses to hop on board with our program, and in turn get more resources to individuals that need that support for addiction recovery.
Right.
Nice. Yeah. Sounds like a good problem to have.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm just like, I need to really organize this, because I like I said, all of a sudden I have no stock, and I need to like do all the, it's just like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, clearly you're just getting started with this, and I mean, you've got something that people want, so that's good. And you're doing it for the right reasons, man. You're doing it, yes, to help yourself, but also to help others. And I wonder where you learned that at.
Yeah, for sure. And that's kind of where I had that light bulb go off. Is like, do what you know. They always say that. Do what you know. Do what you've experienced. And man, I've experienced strife and struggle, and I beat myself up a lot, and now I have this group of people say, hey man, come with us, let's show you this new way. How, and then now that, so I'm taking that and I'm like, let me see if I can't bring some more, and in turn help myself, right? Because like we said earlier, helping others helps ourselves.
Yep. Beautiful.
Yeah, but I mean,
all right,
go ahead.
Bill checked into your stuff. If you've listened to us, I open up the microphone. I know nothing. So where do I get this soap? Because I mean, you're talking about this stuff. Clearly, you're. I'm going to mention a competitor of yours, Dr. Browner, right?
Yeah.
You were saying you wanted to put stuff on the packaging, and that's what made me think of it. I've got a bottle of it in my shower right now.
Yeah.
So where do I get the soap, man? I'm going to put this out there and really make you go nuts.
So my website's being built right now, and it's pretty close to being finished. I'm going to release a video here pretty soon on how to go about getting a website and getting it done quickly. You know what I mean? Because it's expensive. It's expensive.
Right.
So the website's coming up soon. I'm going to make a release on that. It's projectcleansuds.com. We're going to have subscription-based style purchasing. We're going to have one-time purchasing options. The whole look of it is it's smooth and nice and easy. And we want to, right now I'm a lot of business to business. But I want to be able to offer people the opportunity to subscribe to this product, so that, as you're using something that you use every day anyway,
right,
it's also supporting addiction recovery. Like, I mean, that's a definite win-win. So I want to make it easy for people to come on board with us and subscribe. So I'll be making a post really soon, and getting that link in there, and it's going to be nice.
Good, man, because I want some of your soap.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. I want to send it out. I've spent so much time going over this recipe. Like, it's so much time. So yeah, it's something that I'm very proud to share, and I'm definitely going to get some to you guys. That's for sure.
Cool.
And we offer it to. I mean, we've had a few people on that have books or items or things like that, or just different things that they've done. And I don't know if you've had a chance to take a look at our website, but if you do, and when you get a minute, there's a sponsor page on there. We offer this out to everyone. If you want to accept it, it's cool. If not, it's not a problem either. We will promote you, and we're going to have your link to your Instagram page and everything like I've done this week. It'll be in the description for the episode. But if you want to be on our sponsor page, it would just be, you give us a picture, give us a write-up of what you want. We're not getting like thousands of hits on our website, but it's growing. And if somebody gets on there and hits our sponsor page, they'll be able to see you. And once you get, to begin with, I can have it click back to your Instagram page. But when your website gets in place, if somebody's on our website and sees yours and they click, they'd go right to your website. So take a look at how we've set it up for other people. We've got people that have their books up there and things like that. The Keating Center where we got sober. Take a look how we have it set up, and if it's something you want to do, we don't charge anyone for doing it. So it's just an opportunity for us to help those that obviously are. We look at this as you helping us at obviously getting on our podcast, and all this is just we're out here doing all this stuff together. So take a look at it.
Right.
We're more than willing to do it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you're doing this to help other people, man. If we can help you help other people, that's a cool thing, man.
Yeah. I mean, that's the community right there, and
that's it.
I would love to be a part of your guys' community. The support that the SoberNotMature Instagram page and having me on it, I'm very thankful to be able to participate with you guys, and appreciate you taking the time to speak with me. I have checked out the website. It looks great, and we can talk more about the sponsorships and stuff. But how do I get you guys some of my soap?
Do you want us to give our home addresses out right over on this here now?
Yeah, how about after this, you just send me that. We'll have a little chat. I'm definitely gonna. I mean, you guys are getting hooked up. I'm not gonna make you guys get on the site and buy it. You're so
Yeah, that's fine. What we can do is, we'll get an address to you because I'm sure we'll go back and forth with getting the if you want to do the sponsorship or either way, anything you want to get us. But yeah, we'll get you.
Yeah, well, fuck that, man. I want to buy some.
Yeah, I mean, we can do that too, obviously. Yeah, no doubt.
Yep, sounds good, guys. Again, thank you so much for having me on, and
it's been a pleasure, man. You're a great example of getting sober, doing something. Your life gets better, and giving back, man. That's just it's cool. It's cool. It's a hell of a lot more than I'm doing.
Yeah, and it's funny sometimes because Mike and I talk about that every once in a while. Actually, quite a bit. Come to think of it, it's just like, we're involved when we need to be. We're involved when we have to be. But
right.
There's a lot of times and a lot of things that we can do. And once again, doing this podcast, getting on Instagram. I spend a lot of time on Instagram, trying to promote this type of thing. But I'm also interacting with sober people. All those things are helping me. But when we get an individual on like you, or 2 weeks ago we had Travis on. A month ago we had Gio on. They both wrote recovery books. So these are people. You guys are people that we can get on here that are helping people. The person we had on last week helps people. The individual G that we had on, even though she doesn't think so, she helps people. So by having you guys on here gives us an opportunity to try to do what we're supposed to.
Right. Spread the love, man. Spread the love.
Yeah, exactly. So all of this, and like Mike said, we'd be more than happy. We'll buy some of the soap. We don't have to. We're not looking at being gifted with anything like that. But one way or the other,
right? And the director of the Keating Center, one of his first directives to everybody that comes in is go wash your ass.
and that's a true story. True story.
Yep. Absolutely, man. I got to go wash my ass.
But yeah. So and we've got a few minutes left. We got 4 or 5 minutes left here, to fill up the hour. But what else? What else do you want to share with just folks that are out there, whether it be about your business, about your story, anything else? I mean, that you want to share while we got you on here.
I think that it just keeps kind of running through my head that to be able to sit and talk, and to be able to be in the position, and you guys are experiencing this as well, to be in a position to share and give things away now. I'm thankful for people like you, and I'm thankful that I have the opportunity to create a business like I am now. And I hope after we hit 10,000-20,000 in scholarships, you guys can have me back, and we can update on exactly where these funds are going, and who is utilizing these funds to pursue recovery.
Absolutely. Shit, thousands, man. You come back after 100.
Oh well, like I said, keep an eye out, because we did it this month. We did it, and that scholarship's going out by the end of next week.
Beautiful.
Awesome. And I do when I see your posts and stuff like that. The only ones that for whatever reason when I've tried to share your videos on Instagram in a story, sometimes the video doesn't load. So I don't know if that's on my end or just how the video is set up. But we are more than willing to, when you do the scholarships, whether it's for you to come back on here or send us the information, we'll post it up, we'll put it on, whatever we can do to help. But I mean, having you back on, absolutely. And things like this are pretty cool. So that, you know, when somebody listened to, you know, episode 36 and you were about to do your first scholarship and then, you know, 3 months down the road or 6 months down the road, you know, God only knows where you're at. It'd be things like that. And I'll use this word 2 weeks in a row, I think are an inspiration, you know, so it's out there. It's just proving that we can do really good things. Evil people like we used to be. Evil motherfuckers. We're out there doing some good, you know, and it's just I think I laugh about it, but it's true. You know, this is what we can do sober. You know, it's awesome, man. So
yeah, gratitude and hope.
Right.
Beautiful things.
But so anything else, Rory? Because I mean, I think this has been wonderful. But anything else that you got that you want to share?
Just to recap that, you know, the website's going to be done soon. That's going to be popping out. And just, you know, gratitude for you guys. I appreciate what you're doing. I have been listening to ever since we started following each other, the new releases that you guys have been doing. And I really appreciate, even just like you said, just hopping on and just talking. You guys both have a pretty soothing voice, you know. I'm starting to get a little bit of, you know, soothe from it now. So just having me on, I really appreciate what you guys are doing, and definitely going to keep in contact so that we can celebrate in these victories together, you know, because that's what it's all about.
We can.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, cool. So since you've been listening to recent episodes, have you heard how we close out the podcast?
I've been cutting it off, but I'll have to have the refresher.
Okay. So Mike will close it off. He gets a little mouthy here, but gives an opportunity for us to quiet down for a second, and then Mike can close us out. But I always ask him this question, Mike. Anything else on your mind?
Not a goddamn thing.
Is that your microphone moving around, Mike? We're getting static.
I don't know. Yeah, well, maybe.
Oh, that was kind of...
I'm not hearing anything.
Oh, yeah, just a little bit of static. That's okay. I just want to make sure that everyone else can hear this wonderful out. So you said nothing else on your mind, right?
Not a goddamn thing.
All right, brother, close us out.
Cool. Well, thank you, everyone, for listening to another episode of Sober Not Mature. Thank you, Rory from Project Clean, for coming on and sharing your experience, strength, and hope with us. I'm really looking forward to getting some of that damn soap. And, as always, have a good week. Be kind to each other. Be good to each other. Do something nice for somebody else this week. And as always, please, fuck off. Then keep fucking off. Keep fucking off until you get to a gate with a sign on it saying, you cannot fuck off past here. Climb over the gate, dream the impossible dream, and keep fucking off forever.
So you haven't heard that yet, Rory?
I didn't hear that ending, no. I love it. Now you have to play them all to the end so that I can hear that ending again. That was beauty.
Yeah, so here's the thing. That exact ending started, what, 4 or 5 episodes ago, I think?
Yeah, five or six maybe.
Yeah,
even.
Our sister gave us, that came from a meme that she sent to us. So Mike used to do this whole little, you know, his thing and then fuck off, but it was a quick one. And then our sister Kathy gave us that, and so now he's added that. So we pretty much said that this is going to happen from now on, that ending. So just people who haven't heard it, usually it makes everyone laugh. So I still laugh at it. He's been doing it since like episode 5.
Spread the joy where I can.
Exactly. Well, all right, Rory, thank you once again. Obviously, we'll get all your information in the description for your Instagram page, and we'll talk again soon. Mike, I love you, brother. Obviously, you and I will talk soon.
I love you too.
All right. Everyone else, goodbye.
I appreciate you guys. Take care.
Bye.
As always, thank you for listening to another episode of Sober, Not Mature. To access all of our content and interact with us, please visit our website, SoberNotMature.com. Thank you again for listening, and we will talk to you soon.